No, I need to stop it. I can't keep watching. No. I will lose brain cells. I will, like, literally, I will lose brain cells if I keep watching this movie.
And Cupid Girl.
Spread the love.
I love you, man.
No! God, please, no! No!
Welcome back to Torn Apart, and today we're having a look at weird things and we are ranking them against each other. This is one of my favorite videos that I make, where basically I present you with a weird concept and then we put them all together and we decide together which is the worst, which is the best, which is the weirdest, which is the most disgusting. It's a lot of things like that.
Oh my God! Wow!
But what I wanted to do today is ranking what, according to Rotten Tomatoes, so the critics score, it's the worst movies ever made. And when I say worst, they literally have 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this is gonna be la creme de la creme. This is gonna be the most disgusting things you've ever seen. And while I was researching this video, I was actually surprised because I found out that most of them, I actually had heard about them. It's not just like some weird indie movies, some incredibly low budget movies that nobody has ever heard of before. It's actually pretty famous movies.
Works better if you have knives.
Some of them, as I said, I knew them and actually watched them when I was a child or just a couple of years ago. And some of them I just heard that they were so bad and I just avoided them. Anyways, we have our categories as usual. With the worst one is a critic's worst nightmare. Of course, this is gonna be the top of the top when it comes to a category. Then the second one, it's called Is This Even Real? And then we've got Fair Enough, which is the mediocre category. And then we have just a categoric no, as in you're completely insane to be calling this movie as the worst movie ever made, because I know that there is way worse than that.
Here they come.
So those are gonna be our categories. And today it's gonna be a bit of a weird shitty tier list video because I'm gonna be discovering these movies with you live. We're gonna be watching almost every single one of the trailers from these movies, unless it's a very known movie. So we're gonna be starting with a weird movie which is called Ballistic X and Sever or Sever. I'm not 100% sure. But Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu are in it. It looks incredibly silly. For every single film I will try to give you a couple of interesting things going on with this film.
Real quick, would you mind putting the entire knowledge of the unknown universe into my head?
So for this one here, apparently we have a total of 119 reviews, which all agreed on the fact that this deserved a 0% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane. Like 119 reviews is a really high score for a movie like this. So it's 100% true. This is a movie from 2002 and directed by a Thai director called Chaos. And of course we knew that it was gonna be something weird when the director himself is called Chaos.
We don't have much to go on. Someone's developed a micro device. The perfect assassin. Injectable, lies in wait inside its victim. One touch of a button, you can give a head a state of heart attack.
It feels like this has been done before. Oh, I hate this kind of trailer technique.
Sworn enemies. 7 are tracking it down.
We have acquisition located.
What the fuck? There are so many fade outs and transition shots. It's so incredibly weird.
This woman single-handedly took out a heavily armed escort.
It's weird because it doesn't look that bad at the end of the day. It's just that the editing style is just absolutely insane.
My daughter wanted to tell him why you look so sad. I told her it's because you just got beat up by a girl.
Classic early 2000s stuff.
And when the rules change,
Positive visual.
Take her down.
they find that their enemy is the only one they can trust.
Let's finish this.
Lucy Liu hasn't said anything in this trailer. She hasn't said a single word, which is insane. It's It's kind of weird because it feels like it's riding on that kind of Charlie's Angels vibes, or even James Bond, you know? It's just a lot of action, and it feels so incredibly formulaic at the end of the day. It doesn't seem like it could be boring.
She's gonna kill you.
I feel like it's kind of like trying to mimic the John Woo style of action and editing and stuff like that, because it was working really well in the 90s and in the early 2000s. This looks insane. I mean, this is kind of like Fast and Furious as well when it comes to the editing style. It's absolutely insane.
No.
Oh, she actually said something. Okay, she ended up saying something. Ballistic X versus Sever. Sever? We still don't know. So what do we think about that? So it seems very mediocre.
I think I can smell shite.
It doesn't seem like a very, very bad movie. Like, it just seems incredibly forgettable. I will put it into fair enough, because at the end of the day, I'm honestly not that shocked about this movie. Like, I feel like they're exaggerating a little bit. There are so many more forgettable action movies out there and starring like literally nobodies. So at least here you've got like two incredibly famous actors. So maybe they brought some kind of gravitas to the movie itself. So I don't know, it's weird. This is the entire purpose of making this video, is trying to figure out whether critics are actually wrong about all this kind of stuff, or whether they got it right, you know? Especially because calling something the worst thing ever is kind of like exaggerating a little bit, you know?
Welcome to prehistoric time.
The next movie is starring Dennis Quaid, and it's called Beneath the Darkness. Very serious. If you want to know something about it, well, it came out in 2011. It's an American teen thriller black comedy. The director is called Martin Gigi. It's a feature directorial debut, of course, and very often those can be either incredibly good or incredibly bad. But the weird thing about this movie, and that really got my attention, is that it had a budget of $7 million and it made $9,600 at the box office. 9,000. It's insane. This feels like one of those movies where they're literally just recycling money, because it's so weird. Lies a terrifying secret.
I'll leave the light on for you.
No, Jesus!
What? What is going on? Why did we move from people like playing bowling to just murderers?
Still not convinced.
Ryan, we all saw it.
What's it gonna take to convince you?
We gotta go back.
How did they find the house? Like, it feels like this movie is missing the introduction. I mean, this trailer is missing the introduction.
Oh my god, she's dead.
What are you doing in my house?
How is this?
Stairs can be
How
very
is this a black
dangerous.
comedy? It looks like a horror movie.
Accidents happen in the home.
Why don't you believe us?
Danny fell down those stairs.
Kids make up stories about morticians. It's all a big joke until somebody gets hurt.
We searched that house. There was no dead body.
Honey bunny, there you are. Help me prove he killed Danny.
Careful.
You're not going in without me.
Everyone nice and cozy.
He's not gonna let us go, is he?
Rosemary understands it's only temporary.
Why did you put him in there?
Another man fucks your wife. There's gotta be some payback. You have to punish him.
I don't understand the purpose of them being so intrigued by him, and why this movie starts at the beginning. Like, did they know the actual woman that Dennis Quaid killed, or no?
Psycho.
Joke's on you. Ha ha!
Oh wow, his performance seems all over the place. Oh, okay. I see why they call it a black comedy. And they don't call it a black comedy like consciously. They call it a black comedy because it's just incredibly cringy. That's why they call it like that. I'm 100% sure of. We've got potential here. We've got potential for a really, really shitty movie. So I'll put it into, is this even real? Because this is kind of like classic bad performances, bad plot, because like you can't even tell what the hell is going on and why these teenagers would be so obsessed with finding out what what the deal is with this guy and that woman that he's dancing with. Like, it makes no sense at all. But at the same time, it doesn't look that bad, you know what I mean? It looks forgettable without a doubt, but at least like Dennis Quaid's performance seems so incredibly funny. Maybe some people could enjoy that, or maybe horror fans could probably enjoy like the deaths and the practical effects. The next one, I'm shocked. I have never heard of this movie. I thought I watched every single Jim Carrey movie, and then I found out he made something called Dark Crimes, which is, once again, it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, if you want to know something about this movie, it was starring Charlotte Gainsbourg as well, and that is basically it. I feel like this is gonna be yet another one where it's just incredibly forgettable. It reminds me of 23. Jim Carrey tried to be incredibly dramatic and weird in the movie 23, and the critics like hated his performance and the whole deal. And I feel like this is probably gonna be the same thing. They just want Jim Carrey to do his thing and not get out of that, you know?
Murder happened here. I want the case.
Be careful. They will come after you.
We have a suspect, a crime writer.
His victim's body had the markings of someone.
Oh, this is the same guy from Triple X. He was playing the villain in Triple X.
I think the book is your confession.
You think?
Well, at least we can see like the cinematography is quite cool at the end of the day. They're nailing it, you know?
Just prove it. But you get too close.
I mean, it's literally just starring the most amount of cliches ever when it comes to these kind of stories, detective stories.
5 girls leashed like dogs for what drives most humans. Her hair was matted in blood.
Don't forget who you are.
This case is all I have left.
It feels like Jim Carrey's on autopilot. Like, you can see it in his eyes. It doesn't seem like he's really interested in what is going on. But when it comes to the crime stuff, it looks decent, you know, like I see good practical effects, and as I said before, an interesting cinematography.
You want to hear the truth?
The locations as well, they look interesting. It's quite varied, you know, it doesn't really feel like it was just shot like in one building, that nobody really cared about exploring like the different landscapes that the story could actually inspire. So I don't know, I'm very confused about this one, at least from what we can guess from the marketing material. Of course, all I'm doing right now is speculating because I have no idea how bad this movie is, but at the same time, I would put it into fair enough, you know, because it seems very generic, but at the same time, it looks interesting. Like, I'm intrigued. As a Jim Carrey fan, like, I would still watch that film even if it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, you know? Which means that they did a good job when it comes to the marketing. The next one here, wow, this is an insane kind of movie. I don't need to watch the trailer for this one because we all know what it is. It's Gotti.
Gotti! Gotti!
John Travolta. This movie was nominated for 6 Razzie Awards, which includes Worst Movie, but also Worst Actor for Travolta. It's kind of interesting because when it comes to the Rotten Tomatoes score, there was a bit of a controversy going around with this movie, where basically critics were accusing the production company behind this movie to be manipulating the numbers to force people into going. And they were just saying things like, audiences loved Gotti, but critics don't want you to see it. The question is why? Trust the people and see it for yourself. Like, there was a lot of toxicity going on around this movie's release, and I really don't like that. I really hate it when just people, especially marketing people, they hide their head under the sand, like pretending that the movie is actually good while it's not. Honestly, I watched only 20 minutes of it and then I turned it off because I was like, fuck this movie. I don't want to waste any time.
Va bene, sotto corrimete batano prosciutto, dai giuro. Patanzone portare per fratello. E tutte le cotto da catturata con simparachete.
The next one is Highlander 2, The Quickening. I love Highlander. It's incredibly weird and funny, a lot of practical designs and weird special effects, and I was quite shocked to find out that he had a sequel, and it's actually a direct sequel, so it's following the same kind of storyline with the same actors as well. It came out in 1991, and it received such negative reviews that people actually called it one of the worst movies of all time, which is a really insane title to have for a movie. And this movie was so bad and so incredibly critically panned that the third movie actually started contradicting and ignoring everything that happened in the second movie. That's how bad it was. Like, by the next movie it was completely forgotten. So the third movie is actually a sequel to the first one, not to the second one. But I'm intrigued. I want to see the trailer for it because I feel like it's definitely gonna be interesting and funny to watch. I mean, forgive me for the incredibly bad quality, but this is the only trailer available out there. So, oh, Sean Connery is in it as well. I completely forgot. This vibes, you know, this is classic 80s vibes. Even though this is 1991, to me it's still 80s vibes. With the cinematography kind of like reminding me of Blade Runner.
In all their centuries
oh
on
wow,
Earth,
this looks ridiculous.
nothing could have prepared them for the quickening. Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery, Highlander 2.
They don't explain anything. They don't explain anything going on with this film. They literally just say the quickening and they just give the actors names as well, and that is basically it. Those are all the things you need to know about this one. Oh wow. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad. It looks like a very funny movie if you don't take it seriously. I would put it into no because I feel like if I watch this movie I would enjoy it, knowing that it's bad and knowing that it's not canon anymore. So yeah, I would put it into no. Like, the next movie is Jaws the Revenge, and funny enough, you would think Jaws the Revenge, is that the second movie because is the shark from the first one, or maybe the family of the shark from the first one, like committing revenge on the humans? No, this is Jaws the Revenge, which is the fourth and final movie in the Jaws franchise. It came out after Jaws 2 and Jaws 3D. So this came out in 1987. It's completely ignoring the events of Jaws 3D, and it's a shame because Jaws 3D was really cool. It was just one of the best movies ever made, am I right? It was so bad that it killed the franchise, of course. And actually I have some production details which could explain why this movie is actually bad. And apparently it was made in less than 9 months, and according to associate producer and production manager Frank Bauer, during the sequel's filming, they said that this movie will be the fastest I've ever seen a major film planned and executed in all of my 35 years as a production manager. Quick and easy, done as fast as possible. But anyways, let's have a look at the trailer and see what this is all about, because I'm kind of intrigued.
Instinctively, man has always been drawn to the sea.
Of course, I've not seen the other Jaws movies because why would I? Jaws 2 apparently is like a guilty pleasure. I would definitely never go as far as seeing the fourth movie in the franchise. This is a weird like nature documentary, like with a weird voiceover and stuff. It's still the 80s, so it makes sense. I love how the tone is completely changing all of the sudden and just it's getting very serious and very scary.
And you're completely at the mercy of the most terrifying predator on Earth.
Man's deepest fears has risen again. Oh, you want to read it as well? So we'll read it at the same time. Okay, fair. Jaws.
Jaws. The Revenge.
The Revenge.
This time, it's personal.
This time it's oh yeah, because this is the movie that actually like made canon the phrase this time it's personal. So if you ever used that phrase, it comes from this movie. When I look at the trailer, it looks incredibly lazy. Like this could be the trailer for the first Jaws. Like it makes no sense. I will definitely put it into is this even real, because to be honest, they did a really poor job at trying to convince me to watch this film. I will give it points just because the poster looks interesting. That is literally the only positive things I have to say about the movie Jaws: The Revenge. And we're gonna move straight away into another movie which is called Left Behind. I feel like this is one of those weird Christian movies, right? It is starring Nicolas Cage. I'm pretty sure they casted him in this role because of what he did in the movie Knowing, which is another weird post-apocalyptic / apocalyptic movie. But there's not that much going on with this movie. It feels like one of those weird direct-to-DVD movies. And I just wanted to tell you that there is a sequel to this movie, and the title of the sequel is Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist. Wow, the stakes are getting higher and higher. And of course, this was also nominated for 3 Razzie Awards: Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Actor for Nicolas Cage himself. Long trailer, it's like 2 minutes 20, okay? We have to hang in there, you know? All the logos, nice plane. Hello, hi mom.
Hi, Mom.
I mean, she's not home yet. She's at the airport, but it's okay. I forgive her. I hate when trailers do that. When they just have titles like appearing out of nowhere. Oh, I know this guy. Isn't he in like the OC or something like that?
Welcome aboard, PanCon flight.
I literally have no idea what the hell is going to happen. For the time being, it looks like a funny, quirky comedy. And then everything is going to go to shit, right? Oh, they just disappeared? Oh, they completely stole the idea from The Langoliers, which is like a short story written by Stephen King, where basically most people just disappear all of a sudden and they are replaced by weird creatures. It takes place around an airport as well.
So do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
I heard some doctors talking. It's not just here. It's all over the world.
Yeah, people disappearing, okay.
Chloe, are you okay?
The thing that turns like into black and white. When you have a trailer that turns into black and white, you know the movie is gonna be super sad. The effect of that falling down the bridge was disgusting.
How could she know that?
Oh, it's a New York Times bestseller, but we can't really trust that. Oh, this sounds so Christian. I'm sorry if you are, but this sounds Christian in a bad way. Also, like, this looks very flat. If I just look at the cinematography and stuff like that, it doesn't look interesting at all.
I have no spoilers, no flaps, no elevators, and if I run this thing dry, no reverse thrust. I need some room. I just really need you to know.
Nicolas Cage is always trying to do something, because even if he's in bad movies and in a lot of bad movies, I know that I've seen a lot of interviews where he's like, every single movie that I choose it because I know that it can bring something different in my filmography, you know? So I know that he's definitely gonna try to do something, but wow, that looks so melodramatic, and honestly, it didn't really feel like this was an apocalyptic movie at all. It felt like it was a weird drama about people like being too late for their flights and stuff like that. It's definitely not that, of course. I mean, I need to trust the critics on this because it looked like garbage. And I feel like this is one of those bad movies that also has a really bad, incredibly cringy message at its core. So I have to put it into a critic's worst nightmare. It's definitely not above Gotti because Gotti is just next level shit, you know? But it's up there. We got another movie here called London Fields. This actually looks good and the cast is insane. I mean, we've got Amber Heard, we've got Jim Sturgis, Theo James, Jason Isaac, even Cara Delevingne, and I've never heard about this movie like in the history of ever. Of course, it has some Razzie nominations as well, and this goes to Amber Heard for the worst performance of that year. Another 2-minute trailer. If you need 2 minutes, I hope that you're gonna deliver. They had the guy from Divergent as well. Oh wow, this looks insane.
I've always known what was going to happen next. So love was a bit disappointing.
Hers was a specific kind of fortune telling. She knew how to get to the end of men.
Okay, she sees the future?
Oh, Niggy.
Oh, this feels like it's Southland Tales bad.
Nicola?
Sorry, I was just changing.
What? Why do they want her dead? This feels so incredibly like objectifying for Amber Heard. Like there are so many shots of her completely naked and stuff like that.
I feel pretty good about my writing. I'm worried the critics are going to call you a male fantasy figure.
What the fuck? Oh, Johnny Depp is in this as well? Oh. Oh no. This movie makes no sense at all. It feels like a superhero movie. Oh, people are giving it their 100% in it. Oh wow.
I'm gonna kill you, don't you?
Shall we say 8?
Okay, listen, it's really bad when you've got a trailer, you finish it, and you have no idea what the movie is actually about. That's a very, very, very bad thing. And what do I have to actually add when it comes to that film? At the end of the day, not that much. I mean, at the least they're trying. You know, when it comes to cinematography and the special effects, it feels like they're trying to do something, but it feels like it's one of those situations where everything goes bad. And I really don't like it when movies just put like a lot of big names in their cast list, hoping that it's gonna attract people in because they basically don't have a good script, or it's basically a bad movie at the end of the day. It kind of represents everything that I hate about the filmmaking industry, meaning that it's there to trick you, you know, there is no way that this was gonna be a good movie. I will put it into high tier, is this even real? Because at the end of the day, no, I don't want to watch it, and I would never recommend it to anyone. Plus, as I said, it looks very objectifying. It just looks like it's preying on Amber Heard's body, and just it looks really weird. No, thank you. The next one is Max Steel. So I was shocked to find out that this came out in 2016. YouTube trailer actually has 36 million views, which is a lot. But I've never met anyone who's actually seen Max Steel, and I don't think I've ever seen Max Steel. And I found a really funny review that basically says Max Steel is one of the most forgettable and pointless attempts at a superhero franchise in the current post-MCU Hollywood market, lacking any of the originality or vibrance that could give it even a remote shot at a successful future. Curious? Let's have a look. I have no idea what this is about, and weirdly enough, it kind of looks like Blue Beetle. So I really hope that Blue Beetle is not gonna be like this one here.
We're home, Max. Fresh start. Fresh start number 9.
No more moving around.
I promise.
I don't know this actor, and it's not a good sign. Meaning that he didn't do anything after this movie.
Max McGrath. You're not Jim McGrath's son, are you?
Oh wow, color grading in this movie looks really bad.
Why does everybody in this town know more about Dad than I do? You knew my dad. I need to know about his work.
Your father was working to find a way to harness energy beyond anything that mankind has ever attempted. He was right on the edge of a breakthrough.
What's happening to me?
Max?
What the fuck? Why is there a flying robot?
My name is Steel.
What? You speak English.
Max!
My mom is coming.
Is my mom dangerous?
No, come on.
Go cold hands. You gotta clean in here, bud.
Did you do this to me?
No, Max, your father gave you these powers. I'm just here to show you how to use them. Let's get started.
So how is he connected to the powers?
In many different ways.
Oh wow, the special effects look really bad.
You can run faster. Be stronger. And I haven't even shown you the best part yet.
What? This is awesome.
You're welcome.
Oh wow, it really looks like Blue Steel.
You okay?
Yeah, just really late from my,
Okay, this is boring.
my Zumba class.
The girl appears to cause increases in heart rate. Perhaps you should avoid contact.
Perhaps you should shut up.
See? She has made you angry. The Ultralinks are here to destroy the Earth.
To be honest, I like the robot, I don't like anything else around it.
Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this.
He looks very Halo-like when it comes to the suit and the design and stuff like that.
Go left.
No, let's just go straight then.
Okay.
It looks like a very quirky superhero movie, which is what every single movie tries to do these days. But I'm so shocked because nobody has talked about it at all.
You okay?
The action sequences look so generic as well. But honestly, like the way it's shot, it has a weird like glaze all over it. You can really feel that it's a very low budget movie, and they tried to give it like an interesting look, but they really couldn't, you know. This doesn't seem like it's only cringe, it also seems like it's quite forgettable. So cringe and forgettable, it's a really strong mix at the end of the day. A critic's worst nightmare, because these days, these kind of movies, people just hate. When they are forgettable and they don't do anything interesting, people just shit on them even more. So I feel like if Max Steel came out like this year, for example, with the death of the DCEU, people would have been going insane. And with Morbius coming out last year as well, wow, this would even go below 0, if that is even possible in Rotten Tomatoes, even though I don't think it is.
It's morbid time.
The next one, it's called One Missed Call, and this is following the kind of like Japanese-American remake horror trend that they had in the early 2000s, where they basically just took all the incredibly good Japanese horror movies and they just made the American version, and the American version was always bad, almost no exception, besides maybe The Ring, which tried to do something different. But apparently this one here is incredibly bad. And the thing is, the original is made by Takashi Miike, so you know that it definitely has a very strong style, and it's definitely very, very weird. And this movie won like a Moldy Tomato Award because of its 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, of course. Can you imagine earning like a Moldy Tomato? It's such a weird thing to say. I don't want to watch the trailer because I remember this movie, but I thought we could do something different and watch some of the death scenes, because horror movies, at least if they are bad, well, at least you can enjoy the gore. You can enjoy the deaths and stuff like that. So I want to check if the deaths and the scares are actually worth your time as a horror fan, for example. That was really loud. It started literally with just a person like shouting. Was that one of the scenes, or is that just, oh, this is edited? I know this actress, I've seen her before. What the fuck? Oh, that was one? She was just pulled into a lake. Okay. Oh, this looks so bad. No! That was so bad! Oh no! Of course. What? What came out of his mouth? This is actually a cool effect. But how is she gonna die? Okay. Oh, classic thing of looking through like yeah, okay. Oh, that's it? That's just okay. Oh, that was a good effect. Child's gonna die. The child is gonna die. Is he gonna die just because of the asthma? No, fuck off. He died just because of the asthma. Oh no. Oh. Are you serious? Oh, we did it again? The looking through the keyhole thing? Points to the editor who made this. Oh wow, that looked insanely bad. I think I will definitely have to put it into a critic's worst nightmare, because there is no way that I want anyone to watch this movie. I'm really sorry. This is kind of worse than Max Steel, because Max Steel, at least some of the effects were sort of cool, I guess, but anything else, no. Okay, then we have Pinocchio. There are so many versions of Pinocchio, like this drives me insane, but this is the Italian version. This is a version of Pinocchio that I actually grew up with, and it's where Benigni basically was playing Pinocchio himself, and he was directing the movie as well. It's weird because that movie was also like rumored to be in selection to be represented at the Academy Awards, even though it was not chosen for the foreign category at the end of the day. From what I've seen online, this movie is actually being hated in the US just because of the English dub and not because of the original Italian dub. And apparently the English dub was incredibly disgusting.
Sei lì, Papo! Che si vede da quella finestra? Ci posso andare, sì o no? Non si capisce se ci siamo. Scendi che no, quello! Adesso Papo, il salto del mio Papo! Ciao Papo, ci si vede dopo!
Because I remember this film being quite quirky and fun, and Roberto Benigni, I mean, you can really feel that he was trying his best to actually embody the kind of like naiveness that Pinocchio has. Of course, it's not that memorable as a film. It has some interesting production design, but at the end of the day, this is one of those things where like it just died because of bad marketing and the bad voiceover work, as I said before. So it's not the fault of the movie itself at the end of the day. It is just the fault of how someone else dealt with the dubbing, basically. This movie here, I was shocked when I found out. The movie Problem Child has a 0% Rotten Tomatoes score. Problem Child is one of my favorite movies like ever, and I'm not even kidding.
I hope you guys are insured.
He's got a special way with pets.
Poor fuzzball.
This is probably even higher than Home Alone for me, because it really felt like almost like the R-rated version of Home Alone, even though Home Alone is kind of like insane. But Problem Child is mean. Like, this child is insane. This is the kind of movie that if you show it to someone, they'll be like, I never want to have children. But it's the purpose of this kind of movies, you know? The sense of humor is also kind of childish, but also it's very fucked up. And people in the US were probably very conservative when it came out, because they hated it because of the sense of humor. They said it was like a dangerous movie and stuff like that. But like, I know a lot of people who love this movie. No, honestly, this is like a really good movie, and I really recommend it. So I'll put it into categorically no. I think you can watch this film and you'll definitely have a good time. It's not badly made as well. If you just look at the cinematography, the editing, the performances as well, it's really funny. And I actually watched it last year for another time, so it has aged well as well. Talking about babies, it's called Super Babies Baby Geniuses 2. We're gonna go straight into the trailer, I think. There is nothing else that I can add about this movie. Curtis Connor actually made a video about Super Babies Baby Geniuses 2. It kind of looks like Cats and Dogs, you know, those kind of weird early 2000 movies.
Their own television sets.
There is only one group.
But I know that this is insane. Like, come on, who was this for? Even the first movie is garbage.
Now, it will take a legendary...
Oh my god.
Somebody half your size. Kohuna, my little arch enemy.
What the fuck? The special effects are insane as well.
Ourselves and help Kohuna. All right, kids.
Oh my god. These kind of movies, even like Look Who's Talking, for example.
I'm an adult. Team, now.
Just when you have like babies or toddlers just acting like adults, it's just incredibly cringy. Oh my god. No, I need to stop it. I can't keep watching it. No. I will, like, literally, I will lose brain cells if I keep watching this movie. We have to try and avoid that, because I already don't have that many at the end of the day.
That's just what I'd expect you to say. Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
Super Babies Baby Geniuses 2 is a critic's worst nightmares, even above Gotti, because who was this for? Do babies enjoy this movie? No, because how can you understand it? If you're a toddler, you don't understand what the hell is going on in this movie. You don't understand most of the dialogues as well. Was this for parents who were like hoping to get like a child genius prodigy or whatever? This is the kind of movie that should probably be played on repeat, like in prisons. If you want to torture someone, you know, put this movie on, put it on repeat. People will go insane. I will guarantee you that. Okay, the next one is called The Disappointments Room. It's yet another, I think, forgettable horror movie. It was directed by DJ Caruso, which is actually a director that has made quite a lot of films, and he's made some films that I liked as well, but he's not really specialized in masterpieces. He's specialized in meh kind of movies, you know? Good car, going through the countryside. Most horror movies seem to start like that. Talking about horror movies, I'm seeing Evil Dead Rise today. Really excited about it. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan.
Ready for your new house? This is a new beginning.
They always say that. This is a new beginning, like a family moving to somewhere incredibly spooky and weird. And then shit happens, of course. I wonder if you could make like a montage of like people saying shit like that. You would have like a 3-hour video, without a doubt. In history, in movie history, without a doubt.
Hello?
Is it just a haunted house based on true events? Yeah, of course, yeah. 100% sure. Everything is true in this one. Oh, he made Disturbia. Oh, Disturbia is like a very, very cringy movie.
Of course.
Okay, they found the door. I suppose all the disappointments are in it, like generations of just disappointment, right? That's where you can hide all your disappointment and then it will kill you. You're gonna try all the keys? Okay. For now, there's nothing scary about this film.
You got that look that concerns me.
Don't get sick again, Mommy.
There's no one else here.
Oh, this is gonna be yet another movie where like the main woman character, like nobody believes her, for example, and she thinks she's going insane and everybody thinks she's going insane. It's been done so many times. It's so fucking sexist as well because it doesn't happen to men that often. It's just to women, you know? And it just really sucks. Oh, okay, so we don't find out what's in it. We haven't had a single like jump scare or like scary moment at the end of the day. Bad horror movie. This seems like a really, really bad horror movie at the end of the day. It doesn't seem scary. I'm not intrigued to find out what kind of disappointments you can find in that room. I will put it into like high tier fair enough just because this doesn't seem like it's insultingly bad. This just seems like incredibly mediocre and forgettable. We have a category for that. It's called the fair enough. Then we have The Last Days of American Crime, which is a Netflix movie. Once again, 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I was really close to watching this and then I was like, wow, this is more than 2 hours long, Netflix movie, crime related movie. No way this is gonna be good. And in fact, it was not good. But from what I've heard, apparently this movie was hated mostly because of circumstances and because it portrayed the police brutality and police violence, and it came out exactly the moment where there was a lot of like George Floyd protests. So apparently that's why it was so critically panned.
The world is in chaos.
Isn't this like the same guy who is in The Florida Man? Which is like a movie that came out literally like a couple of days ago, I think.
That signal freezes you. It stops you from doing anything illegal.
Who the fuck are you? They used the signal to kill your brother. I want to use it to steal their money. What do you say, Brick?
It's weird because it's based on an interesting concept.
Because your brother thought you were.
Like they use a signal to kind of like stop criminals.
Every great man is a woman.
I'm just a girl who likes fast cars and big numbers.
It's so exploitational. Like the sexy girl, it was like, I like only cars and money and big numbers and shit. The trailer is good though. It's well edited and it feels interesting at the end of the day. I will call it here. This is not insulting. Like honestly, it feels very cliche, but like the way it's shot, it's interesting. The action sequences look really cool. The concept is interesting. If it's based on a graphic novel, there must be a reason. It means that it's actually worth exploring, you know? Pretty sure this is the kind of like dad movie that my dad would enjoy. Without a doubt, this is not as bad as all of the other ones that I've talked about before. It feels generic, but it doesn't feel like a 0% movie. 0%? Are you kidding me? 0%. Circumstances. But of course, it's not the same level as like Problem Child of Pinocchio, where those are actually good movies. But at the same time, it feels like it has potential. This one here, it's called The Nutcracker in 3D. That's the title. The title is The Nutcracker in 3D. This is gonna be so cringy. I chose this one because I saw that Elle Fanning was in it. So I was like, we have to talk about it. And John Turturro as well. This is gonna be next level of cringy. Once again, I don't trust trailers that are more than 2 minutes long. Unless this is like a Gladiator or like Titanic, why do you need 2 minutes to tell the story of what this movie is about, you know? Forgive me for the bad quality, by the way. This is the best I could find. Oh my god.
A curse was cast upon him.
What the fuck is going on? Oh wow.
Merry Christmas, you two. Meet and see.
Until one magical night, he discovered someone who could change everything.
Hello, Mary. You can talk. I've been waiting.
Oh. Cringy. Really, really scary. I actually don't know the Nutcracker story, so I can't even criticize this movie for being like a good adaptation. But this looks like next level insane, if I have to be honest.
Is this real?
Reality is merely an illusion.
You did it. I knew you'd believe.
The spell on the prince is broken.
Oh god, the hair pieces are awful.
It's so beautiful.
Experience one of the most beloved stories of our time.
Oh wow. This is like Cats level bad, I think. Oh wow. The prosthetics on people's faces. Oh my god.
Wow. Can you do that again, please?
What? No, in 3D as well? That is the worst thing about this movie, I think. When you have something cringy plus it's in 3D, you have to see it up close. Oh god, I didn't even recognize that it was playing that guy.
Stop him.
No, stop. It's giving me nightmares. Don't want to see that anymore. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna be putting it into a critic's worst nightmare. To be honest, why does this movie exist? Who is this for? I mean, no, maybe there are some children who would just like look at the images and just be amazed by it. The same reason why there are some people who actually enjoy Cats. Okay, Cats is probably worse than this. Cats actually deserves a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I have no idea why it hasn't won. Maybe it's definitely close to that, I'm pretty sure. The next one is called The Queen's Corgi, and it was really funny because when I was looking this up, the trailer has a lot of views. It has like 3 million views, and I have never heard of this movie ever before. If you look at the production company that made it, they are specialized in making very mediocre children animated movies. And when I say children animated movies, it's like those kind of Barbie Bratz level, but with a better animation style, okay? The funny thing is that I found out that apparently this movie was critically panned because it was deeply unpleasant and in no way suitable for children.
Meet Rex. Ever since he was a puppy, he's been the Queen's top dog. He's always been popular in the palace.
Oh, that's a really cute dog.
And he's shaken paws with the best, the brightest, and the craziest.
Huh? What the fuck?
Fantastic little place you got here, Liz.
What? Why is Trump in this movie?
Until he got locked out of the palace and put in the doghouse.
Can he talk? Can the dog talk?
Who's a nice little puppy?
Rule 1. Don't get involved with strays.
Rex, you're drooling.
Perhaps we could get formally acquainted.
Rule 2. Never cross Tyson.
Oh. Are the dogs like really horny? Is that why it's not suitable for children? Oh. Just the dog's teeth just made me cringe.
Cross the line, madam. I want to go home. I'm the Queen's Corgi.
Standing in a crowded room and I can't see Rexy.
Oh my god, this looks so cringy. This is the kind of movie I would like to watch with like an English person. Maybe someone who loves Paddington being like, this is the movie for you. This was made for you.
Our real battle is with fear. I'm too fluffy to die. We conquer it.
Well, at the end of the day, the animation style is quite cool. It's well made, you know. I'm pretty sure there are some children who actually enjoy this. I still don't know why it's unsuitable. Come on, it's not a 0%. Like, this doesn't deserve 0%. Come on, like, honestly, we have to be real when it comes to this kind of, like, things. And I'm an expert on shitty stuff, and this doesn't look that shitty. Like, I love dogs, of course, but it still made me smile, you know? So I would put it into maybe high tier no, because I wouldn't watch it, personally. But I can see people enjoy it at the end of the day. I can see a universe where someone might enjoy it. The next movie, I don't even have to talk about it, because I actually watched Ridiculous 6. The worst thing about it is that it's one of the most viewed things on Netflix as well. I think it was at the top of the like numbers. for like 30 days straight, for example. And that's when we got stuck with a lot of incredibly shitty Adam Sandler movies when he made the deal with Netflix. So this movie changed everything. This movie gave us a shit ton of other bad movies.
I'm ready. I'm hungry. I'm drunk. I'm low-paid.
Eat your thing.
Well, we're unstoppable then.
This is so bad. Like, there's nothing good when it comes to this movie here. It doesn't deserve to exist, and it's without a doubt a critic's worst nightmare. Just because of what it did to society, I would really put it up there next to Gotti. It just changed everything, man. It just changed everything. See, this is something that I don't understand. Eddie Murphy, 1,000 Words. I remember this movie, and I remember watching it like right after, I think it came out right after Norbit or something like that. And I'm a huge fan of Eddie Murphy, and I heard that it was so critically panned, mostly because, well, he's not allowed to talk for most of the films, because I think he has only 1,000 words left or something like that. It's the concept of the movie. He has to learn basically to appreciate like discussions with people, and especially with his daughter, I think, or something like that, like to speak like your feelings and not necessarily speak like nonsense and waste the words away, basically.
Venti triple shot latte. Iced latte. Extra milk?
The message is actually quite cool when it comes to this film, and people hated it just because it was not like a classic Eddie Murphy movie. It was just like a very standard comedy starring Eddie Murphy, you know? I want to put it in no, but at the same time, I understand why they're criticizing this, because anyone could have starred in this movie. Like maybe someone with like a really foul mouth, you know? Like one of those actors who usually play like in R-rated comedies. That would have been even funnier, for example. Like they did, for example, with Ricky Gervais in The Invention of Lying. That's why that movie actually works at the end of the day, just because they casted Ricky Gervais. We've got the last one from this list today. It's called Transylvania. It's a black comedy. It's a horror comedy as well. It kind of has the same poster as most of the weird American Pie spin-off movies. But let's have a look at the trailer and see how incredibly cringe this movie is, because you know that this is cringy, right? There is no way that this is not like really, really bad at the end of the day. Wow, 2 minutes 30 for a trailer for a comedy?
At the start of the new moon, I was absolutely positive of 3 things. First, Radu was a vampire.
Is this kind of like a Twilight spoof as well? It's 100% a Twilight spoof as well.
Nothing could prepare my friends and I for our semester abroad in Transylvania. It looks a little different in the brochure.
Seriously?
This semester.
Hey, that vampire looks just like you.
What? Do fat and ugly guys have girlfriends like this?
They have no idea what they're in for.
Oh no. Oh no.
A super freak. I had a hunch there was going to be something special about her.
And they're in, way over their heads.
Okay, I understand what this movie is. I completely understand what this movie is. It's kind of like epic movie, it's kind of like disaster movie. This is 100% insulting and funny for like literally just 1% of the population. Very, very like childish.
Is preparing for battle.
Are you a vampire hunter?
Yeah, baby. And not every student.
What is this?
Are you ready for some hunting?
Will make the grade.
Oh, of course he shot himself in the leg, yeah. Oh yeah, of course it's a horny movie as well. But you could see that from the very start that it was very horny.
Oh, you are so incredible.
Of the sexiest. Most outrageous.
I kind of want to watch this. Why do I want to watch this? Oh, the special effects were so bad.
College kids, the other white meat.
Alright, freeze, vampires!
Shoot him! He's the vampire!
They made a version of this called Vampires Suck as well, and that one was really, really bad. This looks bad, but also funny, just because it has a very early 2000 look to it. Well, oh, What the fuck? What do I want to give to this movie? That's a very good question. How can I rank this movie at the end of the day? Just because of all the things that I said, it's probably insulting, it's probably not funny, but it makes me want to watch it because of that reason as well. Is it at the same level as Highlander 2? It's one of those movies that it's so bad that maybe like there is some enjoyment found in it as well. I'll put it here. I put it next to Highlander 2 because I think that you could definitely find something enjoyable about the whole experience. But that is basically it. I didn't do the entire list of all the movies, just in case you would want a part 2 to this video. If you like the concept and if you'd like to see more, let me know. If you enjoyed this movie, last week I released a really cool review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and you're definitely going to enjoy it because I always have interesting things to say about superhero films and mostly MCU films, especially in the last few years. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Every single like that you drop will go to babies and it will turn them into super babies who have adult voices. So smash that like button so you can see toddlers and babies around you act like adults and talk back to you like adults. That's something that we want to see, right? Yep, I'm Patrick and this is Tornabart.
Maybe that's how sharks evolved over the last 20,000 years. Can't wait to see what the humans look like.
Can our brother get some water? Get back to work.